Great. Audio seems to be working. Chat seems to be online. Let's get into it. Let me do one thing. Need to just update this. And then we're good to go. Alrighty. Welcome to this and the last Mona workshop for the year. Mostly going to be focusing on whatever the chat wants. We'll throw it at you. And see how that goes. Otherwise, I'm just going to be working on my my stage space with whatever I need to do for that. I'd like to focus on some prefabs because I think those are super useful. And maybe some LODs actually, because I haven't actually played with that very often. Most of my spaces are not needed that level of optimization just yet, but that is something I definitely need to look into in the future. So maybe I'll jump onto those as well. So let's jump in. Ta-da! So I've got my files open. I've got my, where is it? Where's all the extra stuff that I made? So I've got the 2-screen stage, and did I? Yeah, I'll put that in there. So that's all good. So that's all nice and neat and looks great. I'm gonna get rid of these guys though, because those were just experimental, and it was quite fun to do actually. So there's that. So, what do we need to do? We're going to need to do light mapping because that's clearly a bit glitched since the update, but that's fine. I do want to make these walkways a bit, like, deeper. So, like, people can, like, put stuff, or we can put, like, chairs and stuff, tables. And we might actually look at that. Like, that would be a good example of a prefab example, is making a chair that is going to be around the place a lot. So I think that'll be the focus, unless the chat comes up with something else to do. So happy to do work on anything that you would like a bit more skill, more knowledge, a bit of review. We'll call it that, a year in review. What skills would you like that I can run over again to confirm? So yeah, there's that. But till the questions are asked, I'm going to start looking at this. Definitely need a better name for that. Environment. Now that's gonna probably glitch when I save it because the name has changed in Unity, and that's fine. Like I can deal with that, but just a consideration with that. All right. So we want all of these. How big do we want them though? So I'm thinking like putting like desks and chairs. Windows would be nice if I could figure out how to do a really good space maybe. But we'll see how that goes. So G X, maybe double. Yeah, let's do double. Why do we want? Do, No, I feel like square should be the way to go. Now, because we scaled that, we're going to have to change the UVs as well. So for that, I'm going to go Control A just to make sure that all the transforms are set before going to this one. And then all of these will be adjusted. So now, as a small note, I figured this out just recently, actually. Sometimes light mapping in Unity is usually pretty good. The light, what do you call it, unwrapping, like the second UVs, could be better. um, so if you want to, and I'm still playing around with this a little bit, but if you want to, you can create a second light map UV or a second UV for light maps in Blender, which is super useful if you want to be a little bit more control over how it's laid out. Now, this is bad for a light map because it's all like right next to each other. And light maps do kind of bleed into or over the top of something. So there are ways to adjust that, and I'll look at that in a second. So yeah, let's do a quick version of second UV light maps in Unity. And for that, we go here. So to this, a little object data properties, UV maps, and we have UV map, which is the first one. What you need to do then is just go plus, call it whatever you want. So I usually just call it light map with a capital because I'm that way inclined. So you have these two things. And then up here, you can choose which one you want to bake with, want to unwrap with. So let's leave that one as that because that's all about direction in the light maps. But the light map, I want a little bit more space in that. So if I go to Smart UV Project again, and this time we want an island margin, let's play with 0.1 and see if that's any good. Right, so that's a bit too big, but just to show you the difference, we have our UV map for the first one and our second light map, which is different. So let's do that again. Let's go 0.05. That's not bad. Maybe a little bit more. Smart UV 0.03. Yeah, that's good. Now, if you wanted to, you could sort of like shrink some of those down, shrink some of them up. You could have complete control over what you want to do with that. So I'm going to do that with this, I think, because like these are important elements of the asset. Same with these ones, maybe. Top doesn't have one. So I want the light map on this to be higher quality due to the fact it's like going to be what everyone's looking at. The back, not so much because it's going to be covered up with the canvas. So let's sort of put these together. Scale them accordingly. Now there is a catch. Oops, let's do. There is a catch with this so far that I understand, and that is mixing UVs between sort of. Nope. Um, hang on, focusing a bit too much. Um, Mixing UVs on between fixed light maps, as in ones we make, and ones that Unity does, I've had not the best results with. Like sometimes it won't make one for the Unity one unless all of them are, or something like that. So I still need to figure that part out. Um, but that said, it's super useful when you're making your own assets to be able to do that. So we'll look at that once we export it, which we can now do. So yeah, that's creating light maps in Blender, um, which is pretty cool. Now, where are we? Builds, assets, models, main area? Sure. Select objects and upload, apply, transform, as long as it doesn't have animation. Hey, Argent. I've done that. I can review it if you missed the end of it. But yeah, I figured out this week. I haven't needed to do it before because the Unity Light Mapper is okay. But I did want to play with it with, was it another space? I think it was another space, with pretty good results. But I'm still figuring out the fine print. Have you done it before? Hey, video game bar space station. How's it going, man? Um, Now, because I've done this, I want to make sure that generate light map UVs is off. Yeah, Argent, have you played with the second light map in Blender before? Do you use just light mapping in Unity? Oh, we have to adjust some of these. Oh, okay. I'm going to edit these ones. Cool. Um, Colliders, shadow boxes. We need to update the colliders to be where they need to be. So let's do that this way. Yeah, the only issue I have with the light mapping is making it work on the second. If that makes sense. Like if I'm mixing Unity light maps and my own light maps. But maybe I'll figure that out. Or maybe I did something wrong. Like so many things. Have I not done walls? Oh, I've just done them here. Ah, interesting. Okay. This is gonna be annoying. Oh, needs to be done. nearly the same. Use this one. Again, I'm sure it's actually going to the links it needs to be. What I might do on these ones is grab that, and grab that, and then just scale it. Problem solved. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alrighty. Done. File, save. Ready. Arjun, is there anything you would like me to look at in this session? Any questions you may have? Anything you'd like me to focus on? That's sort of the main goal for this one. But we'll see how that goes. Is done. I might leave him there. I think that's a good spot to do it. Yeah, cool. Up to date. Billboards. As in, what do you mean by that? That's a big category. As in like a 2D sprite that like always faces the camera. I don't think I know how to do those yet. Although is that a particle? Like I know you can do that with particles. Let's find out, shall we? Um, hmm. Billboards in Unity. That one? Oh, okay. So you actually mean a 3D object that becomes a 2D object. It's code based. Code based. Using scripts. No. This one maybe. Yep. Billboard asset, you say? Put that over there. Um, some of the guys in the Discord are playing with physics, which is interesting. It's not networked, but it's there. So I'm kind of interested in maybe dabbling in that at some point. Canvas renderer. Is that it now? Sprite renderer. Billboard renderer. Let's give it a shot. I have no billboards. No, not on that one. Let's make a new asset. Create empty billboard test. I have no idea if this is going to work. And then put that component on it. Where was it? Miscellaneous billboard renderer. Yep. I think we need a 2D sprite of some sort. Do I make one or steal one? Let's make one. Just quickly. File, let's go 512. Yeah, 512 by 512. Yeah. Create dot. And let's make some amazing artwork. Actually, what am I doing? Ah, why doesn't escape work? No. Weird. I might just get my logo in there. I'll put that. Not that. This one. This one. That'll do. Down to textures, I guess. And then we need to make that a sprite. Up here, I think it is. Sprite. Apply. Now, if we go back to the billboard, we should. Nope. Billboard asset. Okay, that's a specific asset. Okay, interesting. So we got. Okay, how to make a billboard asset in Unity. Okay. Fantastic orientation. Billboard asset is a collection of pre-rendered images. Ah, so it's a bunch of them. Yeah, it's a LOD thing. It's not just a billboard thing. So I don't think this is what we really want. Well, it might be, but I don't know how to do it. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to pass on that one. Unless you want me to spend the next 2 hours on it. um, what was the other one? Like particles. I haven't done this nearly enough. I'd love to be better at particles, but I just can't, to be honest. Um, so let's get rid of that one because I don't think that's going to work. And I think you need script to make it even. So not too sure about that one. So let's change this to a particle test. Make some particles. Particle system. There we go. Okay. What kind of particle do we want? So I think this is basically a billboard. So you could, I guess you could actually just like make a particle that spawns and then just stays there. um, Now let's play with some of these. Start lifetime. Let's say 1. What happens? Okay, cool. 0.5. Not much difference there. Start speed. Let's see what that does. 100. Okay, cool. Um, so of course all of these will tell you like what they do, but sometimes you just need to sort of see it. Mm, loop rotation, start color, gravity modifier. That's kind of fun. Yeah. I like that. Local world. Yeah, local's fine. Play on awake. Now I think this one would be what you would use if you were using a reactor. So if you enabled it, um, when it awoke, it would start playing. So this one would actually be quite useful for that sort of situation. Similar with audio. I think it says play on awake. So when it enables, it is awake. Therefore, it will play. So that's quite useful. Yeah, play on awake. So if you see that anywhere, say with reactor, if you enable and disable, when it goes back to enable, it is therefore awake, and therefore it will do whatever you do on that awake sort of element. So play on awake means it will do all of this when you turn it on. Whereas sometimes I think if that was not on, it would come on, but it wouldn't do anything because you've basically said not to do anything when it's awake. So it's quite a useful one. Okay. Okay. Lots of shapes. Kind of was good. I like that. I don't know what I'm making. Like, and this is the thing with any project. If you don't have a goal, so what are we doing? What are we going to make with particles? There's so much. There's so much stuff. The thing is, I don't know. I guess that would be like, say for example, I bought a fireworks pack from the asset store and put it in one of the spaces. And it was like really cool. So you had this sort of shoot up thing, and then they exploded and all of that sort of stuff. Um, I beyond me. Looks cool. Well done. Not for me. I don't know how to do it. But I think, like, say the delay thing, so you'll have one sort of go up there, and then a separate particle with a delay of that lot time, and then it'll explode. Stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But I haven't dabbled in this nearly enough. There's a really good one with I like the where is it? Physics one, so it actually like bounces around and stuff. Collision, I think it is. I think it's bouncing off the wall there. That's cool. So what we need then is a little bit longer. Oh, Run out again. Start lifetime? Yeah, there you go. So it takes the collision of the space and does cool stuff with it. That's always fun. That said, it's a little bit more performance because it's checking out collision on every single one of these things. So you'd want to probably limit those to something reasonable. Um, but say for example, if I did like down, that sort of effect, which is kind of fun. So yeah, that's collision. Got all of those settings there. I'm gonna leave that on though. Oh, Trails is cool too. I'm a big fan of that one. In the renderer module, so we've got to go down here. Trail material. So let's make that the same. Where's that? Go there. Yeah, that's cool. Might even get rid of the main one. So I did that with the fan in the Mona playground. Sort of had the sort of like a fan effect, which was actually pretty cool. Forget how I turned off the main one, so it was just the trails. Fun. Yeah, just playing with. Where was it? That was cool. PPV react with, as in would this be affected by gravity and stuff? Oh, hang on. So hang on. So ah, as in will the collider of the avatar affect how this works? Not too sure. Let's find out. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's check. With BBV, with the player, PPVB is player, not player property volumes. Now, how are we going to test this? Hit me. Oh, maybe. Yes, that one hit me. Yep, yep, yep. I am a physics object. So technically, that's a yes. Now the reason for that though is I think the that collider that I assigned. Where was that? So if you go down to collider collision, you got type world. That one. So that will include, I think, any collider type in the world, which is a bit of fun. Once again, like the cost of that might be quite high. Anything to do with physics is a high performance risk, if you will. So you'd want to balance the effect with that. Okay. That I don't know. Although what you could do, if you put a reactor in this space, yeah. So my approach to that would be if you put a reactor in this space, and when you walk into the reactor, you hide this particle and show a different type of particle that like surrounds the avatar, for example. So we could try that just as a test, I guess. Um, so let's duplicate that. And let's just mix it up a bit um, with something else. I don't want gravity. Let's turn gravity off. Let's just have them flooping about. Trails on renderer. Emission? Is that it? Nope. Gravity. 0. Let's hide this one. Okay. Um, let's go 1, 0. Why is it going down though? Go out. Either way, this will be the reactor test. We'll put that in there so just so we can show the two. All right. And therefore we need a reactor. We also need an animator. Optical. Let's just say 1. Turn that on. And that one off. Yep. Turn that one on. And that one off. There we go. Animator. Why are you not working? Because we're not on the right one. Particle main. Um, let's do. Off. Turn that on. True. False. I think enable kicks in like halfway between the two. So I think that's it for that. Next, we need a reactor and a collider. There. Make sure that's turned off. I always forget that, actually. It's really annoying. So I'm going to put that. Let's just put that in the center. Just so then we can move the whole thing around. I kind of like it over here, actually. And then we can move the mesh collider. Okay. There's so much stuff now. That said, I'm still going to use on enter trigger and on exit. Or yeah, I'm gonna switch it each time you go in. I think that's a better approach. So switch operation invert game object particle parameter switch. I think it will call it. Int is based on a boolean value. Put it in there because we need to. Local. No, we'll leave it at that. Cool. Just confirm. Yeah, switch. All right. I think I have it. I haven't done reactor in a while, actually. Yeah. So with better particle development, that could look pretty cool. Cool. Done. Next. Yeah, like particles is a whole craft. And I'm starting to have too many. So I got characters, environments, I've got texturing, I've got unwrapping, animation, rigging. It's like particles as well. I want to do shaders, like shaders and well, shaders I definitely want to learn. Like there's a lot of stuff I could do or would like to do with shaders. But particles unfortunately just doesn't come up as much. Sprites, no. What exactly do you want to know about sprites though? Like how to use them in this? Like what do you want to know? Put this guy. Oh, didn't work. Why not? Mm, interesting. Right. Good point because I'm figuring these aren't what I thought they would be. Default particle. It is a material. Hmm. Okay, interesting. So let's look at that. Let's put my logo on this. So for that we do need Oops, nope. Create a material, I think. Just call it logo. And then we need to do sprites. Maybe default. So what does that have? That has main texture, external alpha. So I think for that we could just use this one. This one has a few extra options. Well, okay. So with that in mind, I think we can do that. Nope. That. Nope. Why not? Yeah. Legacy shaders. That's interesting. That's also very Unity. Which one was it? Legacy shaders, particles, alpha blended, pre-multiply. Legacy shaders, particles, alpha blended, pre-multiply. That'll do. Okay. So now we should be able to, oddly enough, put that in there. Is that what you mean? Animated sprites. So in that case, you'd need. Ooh, hang on. Animated sprites. That would be a shader thing. I don't think there are any. I don't think you can do that one automatically, right? That said, ooh, how go? What does that do? Yeah. That said, I do have in the Mona Playground. Um, I did do a sprite sheet shader actually. So if we go to General Resources, Mona Playground, this one. But the problem with this one, I don't know if it would work because particles need to be a sprite, and this is a material. I'm sure there is a way, but where is that again? Yeah, these. Um, so yeah, Team E flipbook and LED flipbook. Uh, Basically a flipbook approach. Like creates a shader with a grid and it sort of cuts it up for you, and does that. That said, I don't know if it works with sprites. Therefore, I don't know if it works with particles. So, yeah, that might not work with particles. And I don't know enough about shaders to make it uh, a sprite sheet, but I'm assuming that would be the approach. Um, so if you had Amplify, you could probably take, like, edit the TME flipbook, make it work with a a theme. This is hard to get my head around this early in the morning. And by early, it's 12 o'clock. Um, a sprite. Sprites and textures are complicated. But yeah, that would be my starting point on that sort of thing, basically. Hang on in this bar for a bit. Um, so yeah, I'm sure you could definitely do it. Um, no, I think it's like 1.5 hours after I woke up, so my brain is always broken at this point. Um, so let's have a look. Animated particle in Unity. Texture sheet animations. There we go. Somebody else can do it for you. I don't know enough about sprites or particles. Texture sheet animations. Oh wow, they even have a thing on it. Mm-mm-mm. I wonder if this is allowed in Mona or not yet. Might be. I'm not exactly sure like how much things are allowed and how much things are not in regards to scripts. If it's an official script, like a Unity script, like this one, maybe, there's a reasonable chance it could work. Um, so it could be that, but not sure. Texture sheet animation. Is that a script? You will see 4 stars displayed on each particle. Enable the checkbox to the left of the texture sheet animation and set. Oh, this might actually be in particles. Where is that? All right, let's check in the particle thing. Texture sheet animate. There we go. No, yeah, that's 100% applicable. 2 by 2. Yeah, you can already see it kind of working. Kind of working badly, but kind of working. Let's get rid of the whatever I did to it. What did I do to it? How did I do the trend? Like, why did it do that again? Not sure. So that's it. So you need to make. Well, let's do that. Let's go to Photoshop. Let's open that logo. Where is that? Stage build, stage assets, textures, logo. Yep. Let's make it 4. Cool. Um, Hopefully this works because that'd be kind of cool. Ah, these ones. Um, let's use this one actually. Ah, this is a weird site. Hang on. Image size, 512. Thank you. Thank you. What's that one? Oh, that's the mouth. Okay. I don't know what that is. Ah, what is going on? I don't like that one at all. No. This one. Let's try this and get the animation. That is a timeline. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So those four. Um. So let's break this up into. Nope. 256, please. Where is it? Ah, because of the middle of the thing. Go somewhere else. Ah, no, no, no. Okay, image. Try again. There we go. Okay. How am I going to do this? T. Is that different or the same? I haven't done animation in like. Oh, we've got it here, so I'll just do that. Okay. I can go there. Slightly different. Cool. No, it's slightly different. Like you can see that this and this is different. I kind of want to. I kind of want to do it properly. Like at least more. So that's only like four. Yeah, let's do it properly. Maybe it'll be useful to have. I'm not too sure, but whatever, man. Okay, so this is the mission. We need to get those four. Put them there. Cool. Um, Alrighty. So we're gonna have to go that way. So we've got to get these numbers right. So we got that one, that one, that one goes next. That one there. Easy. Ish. Easy-ish. It's gonna be slightly off, but the time on it won't be too bad. Done. That's a full thing. Sweet. Um, export PNG logo. Builds. Here. Was it textures? Yeah. No. Ah. Okay, let's make it a PNG. Do we want? Yeah. Next up, this one. Can we drop? Yeah. I'm gonna get rid of whatever I did. I just remembered how I did it. Alpha blended. Sure. Oh, I wonder this works. Okay. So what do we have? 4 by 4. Okay. So it works on some of it, but not others, because I'm not using the same logo. Oh, I am actually. Why does it not work on that one? Ah, because of that. Okay, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. Not exactly sure. Ah, because yeah, that. Um, why is that being weird? Well, we know that works. So I'm just gonna get rid of that because I want to test this properly. um, what are we doing? Atom particles. Okay, so we want the renderer. We want our logo. There, we want texture sheet animation. Thank you. 4 by 4. And where is it? Yeah, animated. Um, let's go. Let's do some simple things like start speed 0. How many? 1. Just want 1. 1. And there you have your billboard. One way to do it. Can I make that 0? Okay, so that has to be. Yep. And the zap around. Um, but yeah, like with that, you could probably lock it into one place and stuff like that. So that's not an issue. Mhm. Animate the sky properties. Don't think so. That said, we're environment. Yeah, this one. So, hmm. What kind of things would you want to animate actually? Let's set up a reactor to find out. Well, not even because to be honest, like as long as if it works in animation, it works everywhere. That the problem is maybe um, that this doesn't have an asset, if that makes sense. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. Usually, anything on an asset definitely can be animated, um, but yeah, because this doesn't go red, I'm assuming this cannot be animated. That said, on my hex gallery space, like I had this is before I allowed skybox. You could definitely put an object like a big sphere around your space, and then you can animate that 100%. So if you go to hex gallery, yeah. So for that, you'd have to do kind of your own skybox, if that makes sense. Um, so you'd make a big sphere with normals facing in, um, and look at animating that through different methods, I guess. So if we go up here, so that sky, yeah. So this guy, for example, is just an animated sphere that is really big because it fits like Earth in it. You'll see it come up a bit later, I think. Where is it? I don't know. It's down there somewhere. Um, but if you're using an object like that, you can animate anything on it technically. Um, so that would give you that freedom. The catch with that is like you're looking at, well, depending on what kind of image that you're working with, the the texture would have to be quite large, um, and therefore, yeah, trying to get an effect like that within the file size and not costing a lot would be quite tricky. No, the vehicles are a yeah. I was pretty happy with myself on this one because I did a thing. So I had a bunch of cars on an asset I bought, and I got a flat polygon that was X big, and that's a looped texture as well. So like you can see me pointing at my screen, but you can't see where I'm pointing. But anyway, yeah, this works. Um, so I think I had two types. This one was basically I think I did like a polygon about this long, so from let's say here to here, and then um, textured. How did I do it? I project mapped the color and normal map of it onto that, and then flipped the UV. So when I did the shader, which was just an animation going up in one direction, it actually looks like it's two. Um, so yeah, all of those cars are basically like four triangles, each set from like say from here to here, and then just a looping texture allows me to make it as long or short as I want. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, so that is a custom animation shader that I made that basically animates. Yeah, I don't know if I did a shader or I just did it with animation. Either way could have worked. But it just moves the texture in one direction. Um, and then I flipped the the UV on the model to make it look like, so the two textures are actually going one way, but because I flipped the UV, it actually looks like it's going two. Um, so I thought that was pretty smart. So those cars are actually very very low um, cost. I think. I hope. And then yeah, just like designed it so they sort of, most of them anyway, are sort of go behind a building or into a building and then sort of just disappear. So like there are some problems, but like I was trying to make sure that they looked pretty normal. Yeah, I was pretty happy with the result. Um, and there's two types. So I think there was one that was sort of at an angle. So the ones going across here, those were sort of projected at an angle. And then I also had ones that were just like straight down or maybe slightly behind, so you could see that sort of effect. So there were two maps or two projections to create those cars as it was. So yeah, that's how I did that. And same here. Glare on the sky. Um, Not too sure because the only thing I know about glare or bloom is based on emission. Um, I turn mine down, so hang on. There we go. So depending on the space, so like all the blue and the orange has emission. But I think, like, say for example, you look at that, and if I go that down to that, um, so that texture also applies the bloom according to what it is. Um, so I think there's an element of, what would you call it? Uh, Radiancy. um, that gets applied to the skybox texture, perhaps. The thing is also there's HDR, like depending on the quality of the skybox itself, that might also apply into the bloom. Um, Faraz knows a lot more about things than I do. I'll say that much. He's a technical genius. Knows what he's about. But yeah, so there are a couple of things I think that play into bloom. One is definitely emission, and the other one could be sort of HDR effect, which you get like on some skybox that you might add in. Um, so yeah, hopefully that helps, but not too sure. But yeah, I think HDR would probably be it. Bright areas on a texture would probably automatically do it. The catch with skyboxes is they're very large in file size, so there's that. There. Oh, lens flare. Um, Never used them, to be honest. I think, don't know. Hang on. Thank you, Unity. There we go. I wonder. let's give it a shot. Um, let's put it under light effect. Hmm. Text file and specific information that determines how the flare behaves. The specific thing. Texture. Logo. That's gonna be weird. Okay. The thing is, I don't know. Like, I think this only applies when you see a light or something. Um, let's give that a shot. Yeah, I haven't used them before, but yes, I do recall the team saying that flares are now supported. Um, but yeah, not not sure how they apply, especially when you're doing it like this. I think there's like a sun or something, but yeah, not sure how they work. Yeah, they are. They are what? They're cool. Yeah, not too sure. Once again, there's probably like 20 million. I'm assuming. Yeah. So there's the thing is also the light. Right. So directional light is the key one. So I have to look at the directional light. So where is that? And I think like my texture is probably not a good example of. It's over there. It's over with the sun. It's also behind that. So let's move that over there. Get rid of that just to be sure. Um, let's put this at the light and see how that goes. But yeah, part of it could be because my logo is not a good example to use as a lens flare. Not too sure. Could be a few reasons why that's not working though. Ah, it didn't work because I didn't have a flare. I'm an idiot. Hang on. Hmm. Like it's there, but it's always there. Oh, okay. Okay. Weird example, but that's kind of working. I think the placement of it is also pretty important. So I want to try something. So let's put it up towards the sun, like a bit more up there. See if that makes much of a difference. I also want to make it much bigger. Can I go bigger? Really? Okay. Make that faster. Fade faster. All right. Let's give that a shot. Not there anymore. Where'd it go? Possibly. So the website said just directional light, I think, but yeah, could be a few to be honest. I wonder if that's like it literally has to be in front of a directional light or something. Not really sure. It certainly adds like on that Faraz space, for example. It certainly adds a lot um, to it, so it's very important, I think. Oh, it could have been directional. Might turn that off again. We'll give that a shot. But yeah, that's a starting point for all the messing about that you would have to do for a good lens flare. Um, why doesn't that hide? Ah, I don't think that hides because I don't think it has a collider, whereas this one does. Interesting. So yeah, there's certainly some elements of it, but yeah, interesting. I think my thing that I don't get is like what's the scale? I want a really big logo. Well, the thing is, I think that the sun there is like part of the skybox, and once again, I'm going on the docs where it said directional light was the key thing. I want it to be bigger. Yeah, it's an interesting one. But that said, I'm sure there's tons of lens flare tutorials on YouTube and how to apply them better for people who actually played with it for more than exactly this amount of time. So key things: you need an actual flare logo. That's interesting. Here's size here. Okay, interesting. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so you can definitely do some stuff with the lens flare there as well. So that's where that action happens. So create a new material, drag in a texture into it, and then put that onto a flare object, like so. Hmm. Okay. You could use that for interesting things though as well. Like say for example, like kind of like a billboard or using a particle for a billboard is like creating that asset, and then adjusting it as needed, sort of thing. It was directional. Okay, so that was the reason it wasn't visible. So what's it say? Is this lens flare directional, true, or positional? Hmm. Okay. Um. So yeah, interesting. So what time is 6 o'clock? What? Well, sorry. What time is 6 hours from now where you are? Because I'm trying to find the best time for these workshops, and next year we might shake it up a little bit. But trying to find a good workshop to get as many people that are not in my time zone, because not like I can't speak half the languages here, and it's just not. But the thing is, also my sleeping habits are not ideal. So I go to bed at like 3 and I wake up at 11, so that adjusts my ability to have like good sleeping habits. Um, so there's that. So yeah, what would 6 hours be for you? Because I think it's like really like it's getting late there now, right? So the theory was that like at the end of the day, people are happy to watch stuff. Oh really? Well done. You're worse than me. Um, okay, so 6 would be yeah. I could probably do evenings, but the thing is also like most people are working, like at 10 a.m. and whatnot. So trying to figure out the best time to do workshops is a bit of a tricky one. with my time zone / sleeping habits. Yeah. So that would be about 5 p.m. here. Yeah, me too. But also, like, we have Mona meetings like at 1 a.m. in the morning, so I have to stay up for them. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. I have to go to the bathroom, unfortunately. So I'm going to go to a cool space. To have something with watch. This guy has a lot of cool stuff to watch. So we'll go here. 12 hours. So that's 1 a.m. I'm trying to get evenings back to myself though. So we'll see how we go. But maybe. Once again, like I think next year we'll maybe shake things up a little bit and see if we can improve it somehow. But not exactly sure what the approach to that will be. What's a cool shot? There we go. Get some dancing going. That one. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. You should go to bed though. Why? It's 4 o'clock. Are you gonna go to bed or not? You're gonna stick around for a little bit longer. Well, if you go to bed, see you. Well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and then I'll be back. So if you have any other questions, we can do that. Alrighty. Okay. You still there? Yeah, happy holidays to you too. Merry Christmas, New Year's, all of that. Alrighty. Any plans for the holidays? Let's make. Let's go back to the original plan that I have as prefabs. Let's get onto those. Let's make a cylinder with 16. Yep. 24. Yep, that'll do. This is a small asset. 20. That'll do. Yeah, that's what I want. Question away. Ah, well, reflection is tricky because it's expensive, like very expensive. That said, you can use render to texture, which is another thing that I haven't done before. But I think that's what the grifter bar does. I think. So let's have a quick look at that. I think they mentioned that in the Discord, right? Someone said how to do that. So it's basically you render to texture or render to material and then put that texture onto. Is the grifter bar in here? Is that public? Maybe no. Not too sure. What's it called though? Let's have a look. Render to texture Unity. So the catch is, yeah, it's a little expensive, but you can do mirrors and stuff like that. Hmm. So let's do an example. Create empty. Call this mirror. Yeah. No, it's really cool, but a little pricey. That said, pretty cool. So, um, create a new render texture. Assets create render texture. Okay. So it's in here, I think. Assets create render texture. This one. Mirror. Texture. Cool. So let's put an just a plane. So keep the poly count low. Not that big. 0.3. Take. Go there for now. And put it over here as a test in the sun, near the sun. Yeah. Okay, so what we need to do is make this. Okay. So I think it needs a camera component, but then you need to. But you can't use the camera because then the player won't have one. Here we go. Create a render texture. Done. Create a new camera. All right. So I think that the trick here is going to be creating a camera that doesn't get added um, to the space, if that makes sense. So if we want a mirror, we want to put that like kind of right in the middle of that. And I guess, hang on. See that's the thing. I'm not too sure how to turn it off, but we can definitely try and figure it out. Now the thing is, we want a 1-to-1 ratio. I think is that an option here? Field of view. No. Orthographic, I think. Yeah, maybe. Because I want it to be like right. I want it to be the correct amount. Actually, I don't think that's right because when you look at a camera, like a mirror, perspective is actually more correct. So I'd probably put it there-ish. Yeah, not important, but yeah, you could do that. I'm going to turn these off. Once again, you sort of want to keep everything about this, like the performance, really low. So that's an important element, I guess. Okay. All right. Now what? Assign the render texture to the target texture of the new camera. Ah. Hmm. Target texture of the new camera. Camera. Target texture. There we go. Oh. Then what? Create a new 3D cube. I'm assuming that's the opposite. Drag the render texture onto the cube to create a material that uses the render texture. Drag the render texture onto the cube to create a material. Ah, okay. So it's a new material. Gotcha. Okay. So if I drag, instead of trying to make a material from that, I need a new material like so. Right? And we need to rotate that. Cool. All right. Next. Enter play mode and observe the cube's texture updated in real time. Okay. So theoretically, that's it. So the catch is getting rid of the camera. Let's just give it a shot and see what happens. Save. Because maybe because it uses this, it might override it. Okay, so and there I am. Ah, interesting. Okay, so I might scale it -1, and that should fix that up. Maybe pretty cool though. We can get rid of that. Thank you, Unity. I think that's. I was watching a video. I was watching a video where someone has just joined Unity after like not being in Unity for a long time, and basically talking about all the differences that they've made, and they're not nearly as good as they used to be. which is a pity. So the docs, like that was a good doc because it had like an example and all the rest of it. So that's a square now. So that's good. So I kind of want to just make it exactly where we want it. Right. Yeah, so the mirror, if I flip it, the UV will go correctly, right? So when I was looking left, when I was walking left, it would go, the character would go right. So if I invert it this way, I'm hoping that it will look better or make sense. We'll find out now. There we go. So using -1 flipped the UV map, so it looks like it's correctly working. It's much more aligned, so that looks good. So yeah, there we go. One mirror. I should put that in one of the playground. That's pretty cool. But once again, yeah, I think, and I don't know how expensive it is, but if I'm doing streaming and I've got this and, like, yeah, it starts adding up. I think live streaming actually costs a fair bit of frames per second. So that's 100% a thing. But yeah, that's a mirror. Next question. Or sleep, because it's like 5 o'clock. I've only got like 5 more minutes anyway, because I'm going to do 2 hours. Yeah. No, that's pretty good. That's a good suggestion, actually. I've been meaning to look into that for a good while. So happy to sort of come up with that. So that's good. So it looks like the render to texture makes overrides what that camera is trying to do. So that's good. So that was easier than expected. But yeah, make sure that you turn off things like HDR, MSAA, because those will be expensive. You could even maybe reduce the clipping, like for example, like that. Um, you'd want to reduce that to something like 10. So if you had a room, like if this was in a room, like a bathroom, for example, you could reduce the clipping plane so it doesn't see anything outside of that, right? Which would greatly improve the optimization of that asset, but get the cool effect that you want. It can, yeah. So if I put on use graphic settings and use graphic settings, and because I've reduced this, so like if I had a bunch of assets, these aren't rendered. It only renders what the clipping plane does. Then that's probably okay. Not too sure, but once again, depending on the rest of your space, like are you streaming? Do you have a lot of assets? Do you have a lot of polygons? Do you have a lot of materials, etc., etc.? But if you put HDR and MSAA on, I'm assuming that it will be a bit crisper at expense. So we'll give it a shot. You want a dirty mirror? How would I do that? That's kind of cool. You. Oh, it's not that. Okay, so it's not that much cleaner. Like the MSAA makes it smoother, but the resolution of the thing is not that good. So you'd have to play with like could be a scale thing, like the UV and all that sort of stuff. Not too sure. But yeah. cutscenes. Okay, yeah. I'm doing that or playing with that with my Welcome to D&D stream. Um, it's way too big for 5 minutes, but what you could look into is Cinemachine. Um, or, like, there's two ways to do that. One would be manual animation of just a camera, right? So let's say you have the space, you turn all the cameras off, or the camera that you want to use off, and then you do your animation of that camera. So cutscene 1, cutscene 2, cutscene 3, and then turn it on when you need to do the cutscene, and then that'll play that through as a normal animation sort of thing. The other approach, which is much more complicated but much more powerful, is Cinemachine. Where's that again? Where's that? Oh, no, you actually have to add it. That's real cool. Why is this being weird? Unity registry, and then we go Cinemachine. Install. Oh, am I? I think it was loading. Can you hear me now? Type 111 if it's a yes. um, Cinemachine is a whole directorial capability thing. It's really big and really quite useful. I do want to do tutorials on it eventually. But what it does is it allows you to run cutscenes, right? And what it does is it gives you some really cool tools to do very cinematic experiences. So you can create a dolly, like a train for your camera. And basically, what happens is Cinemachine will take control of your camera in interesting ways. So you'll have like virtual camera 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll go like camera over here, camera over here, camera over here, camera over here. And it gives you some tools to like control your camera as you want to, sort of like very similar to like a dolly or a pan, using vectors and stuff. It also allows you, and this is what one thing I've been using it for, is if you have a bunch of different animations for, let's say, a character. So you have walk. If you were going to manually animate that, you would have to like do walk, and then like it would be very difficult to do that. But with Cinemachine, you can just like assign an animation, and it will loop that for as long as you want, and then you can transition to a different animation. So you can control characters or anything with the Cinemachine animation. There's a bunch of different sides to it. That's what I mean. Like it's a huge category. So to need or require this, you'd want to seriously look at like camera work. So yeah. So if you're doing a small cutscene, I would just stick with a normal camera and then animate that as you see fit. But if you're doing like a proper cutscene, another tool that Cinemachine does is it allows you to follow an object, right? So when it sort of walks a bit, it won't move, but when it gets to a line, it'll start following it. And yeah, I haven't got it yet. I haven't finished yet. I'm actually looking at using NVIDIA's audio to face to lip sync the parody song that I wrote based on Welcome to the Internet, which is a Bo Burnham song. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it done, but unfortunately, getting the face animated with the eyebrows and eyes doesn't seem to work with FBX. It's this whole thing. Um, so yeah, it'll come out eventually. But yeah, I need them to be better at what they're doing because like it's an amazing program, but it's just very hard to use. Like it's very much an engineering kind of app rather than a designer kind of app. So it's all very convoluted. And unfortunately, some of the features that I would like aren't supported yet. So I either have to release it semi-finished or wait until they fix it, and I don't know which one I should do. So we'll see. But yeah, basically, I've sung a song with that in mind. So we'll see how that goes. um, but yeah, once again, another tool for AI to sort of speed things up and make things pretty cool. But yes, it's still very early. Well done. But yeah, like look into Cinemachine. It's really quite good, really quite powerful, and it is supported in Mona. Once again, because it's like an official Unity thing. And I've played with it a little bit, and it does seem to work. But I don't know how far it goes or how big it gets in file size and stuff like that. But once again, you'd need a really serious like cutscene situation to require something like Cinemachine. So what I'd probably recommend for most people is literally just use a camera with animation and animator and enable it and disable it as need be. But yeah, like Cinemachine has all of the cams. So dolly cam, pan cam, trolley cam. Like you can like design the track that the camera needs to go on. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Like if you're doing cutscenes or even just animation or machinima, it'd be really quite good. So I'd like to dabble in that in the future. And the fact that you can make Reactor like local. So like the cutscene only starts for the person who triggered it, and like they can watch this whole cutscene thing, whereas everybody else is doing whatever they normally do. You could do some really fun stuff with cutscenes with normal people. Or you could even do machinima with that, right? So you have like a camera going around somewhere and you tell people where to go and create an animation with that. Like you could do some really cool stuff. So lots of ideas with Cinemachine and whatnot. So we'll get to that eventually. But yeah. All right. I'm going to wrap it up there. That's a full 2 hours, which is great. Covered some great things. I didn't cover prefabs. Just the one thing I wanted to look at, but that's fine. So I have to remember all the things we did and put that in the Discord. But thanks for the questions. All useful directions, things that I've never done to, but now I have, so I can now help with that. So excellent. But yeah, go get some sleep. It's 5:15 in the morning if I recall. Well done. Thanks for staying up so late. So much so I'm gonna join it in the chat. There we go. All right. Well, have a good sleep, and yeah, hopefully next year maybe we'll have a better stream time for you, so you're not as crazy as I am or have been with the 5 o'clock. All right, I'll catch you later. Bye.